We have the Death card and the Eight of Pentacles. The cards are showing some of you being incredibly annoyed by somebody or by some situation. It almost looks like you're trying to ignore it or to avoid a situation or avoid a person. For some reason, I'm getting the sense of being aggravated or annoyed or irritated. This Death card, it just seems like some sort of stumbling block. It's something that you're trying to work through, and maybe you're not entirely happy about this. Some of you, though, just have a lot on your mind. It's not necessarily that you are upset, but you've got a lot of things that you're dealing with. Death is changes, right? So sometimes with the Death card, life throws you a curveball, upsets your routine, that sort of thing. Let's look at what's coming down the road for Virgo. So we got the Fool, but we did get a couple of cards that jumped out, the Six of Swords and the Two of Wands. Altogether, I see some of you jumping into something new and maybe not being totally prepared for it. With that Death card and the Eight of Pentacles, which was giving me this feeling of like you're just trying to work through something, you might be a little bit annoyed. I'm getting this sense here like you have an opportunity to start fresh, or you want to, but you need to be careful with this desire, because the Six of Swords, this figure in the cards is traveling on water. There's something about him, he looks a little lonely, he looks maybe like he's a little bit lost. This isn't exactly a pleasant journey. So if some of you are taking a trip, I would be very careful about this. Make sure you've got everything you need. That Two of Wands at the end, it kind of looks like you're looking around for something that you're missing. If some of you are starting over in some sort of situation, try to restrain your enthusiasm, try to stay grounded and realistic. I mean, look at all these cards. The Fool, high up in the air, but he's about to leap off a ledge. The Six of Swords, he's not on stable ground, right? He's on rocky waters. And the Two of Wands way up on this balcony. It's like everybody's looking for a place to put their foot down or to feel like they're on steady ground. All in all, though, these are not negative cards. So for the future, I'm seeing opportunities for travel. I see some of you going on a car ride, thinking about things, maybe deep in your thoughts, maybe feeling your emotions even a little bit. Getting a little wistful, a little sad, reflecting on things. Some of you are going off on your own for a little bit, doing something different, spending some time alone, spending some time with your thoughts. You're kind of getting a different point of view on things, or some of you want to get a new point of view on an existing situation. It's almost like I see this kind of desire to stir things up a little bit. For some of you, it's going to be a little bit tricky if you do something too big. So again, try to stay realistic. I wouldn't necessarily go on a huge vacation with these cards, but a small vacation, someplace relatively close, would be pretty good for you. I see a few of you staying in a hotel. I see some of you enjoying the sights. You're alone here, but you're not necessarily lonely. But there are some thoughts here, there are some emotions in your future that might be weighing a little heavy on your mind. Let's see where the universe wants to take you. That Death card at the beginning indicates that there might be some long-term changes coming for you. But let's have a look and see what the cards have to say. We've got the Judgment card, and we've got the Nine of Wands. So it's interesting here with the Death card at the beginning and the Judgment card at the end. This is a kind of death and rebirth process. Now, I want to mention something. It's especially true for Virgo risings, but it's true for Virgo suns and Virgo moons as well. You've got Saturn right now in your 8th house, the house of transformations, the house of death and rebirth. That Saturn brings tests. It brings all sorts of trouble, sometimes confusion. Things that used to work don't seem to be working so well anymore. There might be all sorts of responsibilities and roadblocks that feel really heavy or just downright frustrating. The fact that this is going on astrologically and the fact that we have this Death card at the beginning and the Judgment at the end, it's very important because of Saturn and where it is right now. Saturn sometimes brings death, not literal death necessarily, but symbolic death. And here we see something slowly changing. Death and Judgment are major arcana, so this is more of a long-term, slow process. You're working through all of this. I see a lot of you staying diligent, staying productive, keeping busy. For a lot of you, maybe it's not necessarily fulfilling at the moment. You might be keeping busy, you might have lots of productive things to do, but it might not feel so satisfying at the moment. At least not for some of you. And then in the near future, we have that Fool. It's like there's a change of energy. Something wants to wake up the inner child in you. Something wants to wake up your curiosity. The universe wants you to try to tackle things in a different way, to tackle your life in a different way, to approach things and people with maybe a new sense of wonder or even just a new style. You might have to be dealing with people in a way that requires a little bit of an easygoing attitude. And again, with that Six of Swords and Two of Wands, I'm seeing you here a little lost at times, not necessarily too upset. It looks like you can handle this, you can navigate these changes. That Six of Swords, he is rowing his boat through the choppy waters of a crisis, and yet he has the means to get through it. So you have the means to get through this. If there's something going a little bit haywire or askew, or something isn't quite making sense, or people are kind of annoying you or frustrating you, changes are annoying and frustrating you. That Two of Wands here, it's granting you the vision to navigate your way through the troubles. But that Fool energy, it sometimes isn't even troubles, it's just new things. And you know, sometimes new things, they can be a little bit confusing. They're not necessarily bad, but maybe you're just not quite used to them yet. All in all though, I don't see this as being too negative. It looks like a lot of you are growing up. I mean, the Death card and the Judgment card, these are heavy cards to be getting. And if the universe is dealing you this hand, it's saying, we think that you're ready for this. We think you can handle this. And indeed, the Judgment card, even though it is heavy, it's a beautiful card. It's a card of rebirth. I often think about the way the figures in this card appear to be kind of dancing or moving to a rhythm. There's that beautiful spirit in the sky. It's like a reawakening to something bigger. Like your life is maybe getting a little bit bigger. Like maybe a lot of you are working right now and it's not so pleasant, but all your work is going to pay off. And for those of you who are working and you're being productive and it isn't so bad, maybe it really is pleasant, then you can expect a future that's going to be even better. It's going to be even bigger. Now that's not necessarily comfortable, right? When life opens up, sometimes that can be scary, it can be daunting, it can come with more responsibilities. And we have that Nine of Wands here, who does look a little bit like he's taking care of a lot at the moment. He's kind of looking around thinking, man, I've really done a lot. Now the 9 cards, anytime you get a number 9, it's a sign of reaching a pinnacle. It's the number right before the number 10, which is the highest number you can get. So there's a sense here that there are still bigger things coming. There's a question here. Are you ready for the demands that a bigger, maybe more prosperous life will bring you? But we've got Pentacles and Swords and Wands mainly. We don't have any Cups. So I'm seeing this is probably related to career, maybe money. But on a more mundane level, this is kind of like the cards are telling you maybe you need to take a little break for a moment, regain your energy before you continue your work. Don't let it make you feel like you can't stop. You feel like crap. That's what death is. It's like your body is kind of declining. That Judgment is reawakening, refreshed. It's a new life. You know, some of you need to take a break, take a breather, take a rest, go somewhere, do something. Again, nothing too big, nothing too crazy, but you know, go out for a drive, put on some music and hit the highway for a bit. Go visit a park, go visit a restaurant, whatever it is that kind of rejuvenates you. So let's get one card for advice to see what the best way to get through everything might be for you at the moment. Think of like, what do I need to be doing right now to make sure that things come out okay? And we have the Queen of Swords. When I think about this card by itself, I often think about the Queen having a sword, but not being inclined to use it. She has a weapon, but she doesn't want to point it at anybody. There's an idea here of, you know, kind of restraining your power. Maybe some of you have a really harsh tongue. The way that you say things can be blunt or hurtful. The swords can represent that. They can represent our speech. There might be a message here to kind of watch the way that you communicate. Watch the way that you say things to people. Maybe watch the way that you say things to yourself. Watch how you talk about yourself. Either one of those things you might need to think about. The swords also just represent our mental life. So this could be reconsidering how you think about X, Y, and Z, right? The world, yourself, your spouse. Look at the card. Look at the Queen. She's holding that sword. That's the mental life. And she seems to be deep in thought too, right? She's reconsidering something. When we look at the Fool card, that's a fresh approach, right? That's a new start. That's moving forward without baggage. So I think some of you here need to just be a little bit more pleasant, be a little bit nicer to other people, but also to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Now, the Queen also makes decisions. So if there's a decision that some of you need to make, think about it carefully. If it involves other people, don't tell them right away. Don't tell them everything. Again, you've got your sword, but you're kind of pulling it back. You're not ready to use it. You're not going to point it at people. Don't accuse anybody of anything. Don't tell people everything that's on your mind. Kind of sit with it. And when you're ready to discuss it or you're ready to make your decision public, be very careful about how you word it. And then that 8 of Pentacles, look how pensive he looks. Look how deep in thought he appears to be. He's working, but he seems to be in his own mind. That 6 of Swords also, rowing the boat. And he seems to be thinking too, right? He's kind of looking off, thinking, where should I go? That 2 of Wands also seems to be looking down, considering things, looking for something, searching for something, or planning something. The 9 of Wands is kind of looking around too. What is he thinking about? And what is the Queen thinking about? Now that's going to be different for everybody, right? But the idea here is maybe to sit with your thoughts for a bit. Again, some of you maybe need to take some time away from people, or maybe you need to sort through your thoughts by taking some time for yourself. Maybe by pulling away from work a little bit if you can. You need to kind of recharge your batteries, I see. But I mean, I'm seeing a lot going on here for you, Virgo. I still see you on a big journey. So once again, to be continued.